And actually, I was a little late joining today. We've ticked over into 9 o'clock already. That was swift. So my darlings, what we're going to do is we're going to start, if it's comfortable for you, in child's pose. So you might have your favorite kind of child's pose, but if not, I'll guide you to a nice wide knee child's pose. So we'll bring our big toes together to touch, knees a little wider than hips. If you want to bring cushions in front of you, you're welcome to do so. We're just going to reach the hands forward, and you can either rest the forehead upon the earth, or you can rest a cheek upon the earth if that feels more comfortable for you. So take a little time, whatever feels most comfortable. There's no right or wrong way to come into a child's pose. Different variations might include having the knees together. You might want to wrap your hands towards your toes. So whatever feels nice, whatever feels particularly easeful and calming. And we're just going to take some lovely breaths here. So if you want to close the eyes, you're welcome to do so. Our theme this evening is a very simple one, but one of my favorites. We're working with the element of earth and connecting to the power of earth and everything it represents. It represents connection to our ancestors, our strong roots that run into the earth. Connects to solidity and grounding, that stable foundation that we can build upon. And as we move into the season of late summer, the element of earth is present in the abundance of the harvest, of the fruits, the berries that we're harvesting now. So it's just a really nice time to connect to these earthly elements and these qualities of earth. But all we need to think of here as we rest in our lovely child's pose is just taking a little time to settle and relax. Easeful breath and easeful body. You might feel a sense that the body can relax here and settle, and the mind can also relax. For the next 45 minutes or so, there's nothing you have to do, there's nothing you have to think about. And you might even enjoy setting aside any worries or busy thoughts of the day. Or even casting aside thoughts that may pop up sometimes in our yoga practice. And that might include comparison or competition, as we worry that we should be stretching further or reaching higher. Or just any kind of self-judgment as we move the body. We'll cast all of that aside. Our yoga is simply to help us draw inwards. And that can be a very personal practice. So as we listen to the body, the breath, as we feel our connection to the earth beneath us, we'll just think about moving in our own way and in our own time, accepting the movement and limits of the body exactly as they are today for whatever reason. Just letting ourselves journey with love and compassion, with patience. Beautiful. So if you've just joined us, we're just starting in child's pose. And you can have cushions if you like. We're going to have the arms outstretched, so take a little time just to settle into your child's pose, and we'll take a few breaths here. And then whatever child's pose you're in right now, what we're going to do, if we haven't already, we'll have the hands reaching up towards the top of the mat. So if you've got your hands towards your toes, we'll just journey them up to the top of the mat now, so that we're all in what we call the extended child's pose, with the hands reaching up to the top. And then from here, we're just going to walk our hands to the right side of the mat. So we're coming into a very gentle side stretch. So your head's still restful. It's a very gentle little movement. Imagining almost that you're just in the child's pose and I've just come along and drawn your hands over to one side. And then from here, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're just going to walk our hands over to the left side of the mat. So just a little easeful side stretch from that child's pose. And then from here, we'll just bring our hands back to center. So we're just coming back to that original extended child's pose, and we'll just take a breath or two here. Beautiful. So from here, slow and steady, we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders, and we're just going to journey to a tabletop position. So all fours. We've got our shoulders above our wrists, our hips above our knees. If you need any extra padding underneath the knees, feel free to bring blankets or cushions under the knees if you need to. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to come into a pose we call the twisted puppy dog. What we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand, and to start, we're just going to float the hand up to the sky. So we're reaching tall towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And then from here, what we'll do, we're going to thread that right hand underneath the left armpit. We're going to lay the right shoulder and the right side of the head upon the earth. The left hand can stay on the ground just to support you. You can reach it to the top of the mat as if you're looking underneath the armpit. Or you can wrap it around the body like a spiral thread. Take your time here. I know this one's a little complicated. So the right hand goes underneath the armpit, and then left hand either reaching to top of mat or wrapping around the body. If it feels that the angle on the neck is a little too strong, or if it feels that the weight's forward on the neck and it's not comfortable, you can lower the hips towards the heels, so you're lower towards the earth. You can also bring cushions underneath the head if you need a little extra support. There's lots of variations for this one. And if you haven't done this one before, feel free just to take a little time, have a little wiggle around, see how you feel in the pose. You don't have to be perfect right now. We're going to take just a few more breaths here if that's comfortable for you. And then what we'll do is we're just going to bring that left hand back to the earth so we can push into the ground. And to return to the place we started, we're just going to float the right hand back up to the sky for a moment to just give a little reach up to the ceiling. And then the right hand will come back to the earth, so it's back to all fours. Well done, everybody. You guys are going to stay where you are. I'm just going to turn around so I can do this and still look at you. So we're going to take it to the other side. So left hand this time, or whatever's the opposite side for you. We're going to float the left hand to the sky, reaching tall. Lovely. And then from here, left hand threads underneath right armpit. So we lay the left shoulder, the left side of the head upon the earth. And you might be happy to stay here, but if you want to add a little extra, we can either reach the right hand to the top of the mat, so we're looking under the armpit, or you can wrap the right hand around the body to the outer left hip like a little spiral thread. Again, take your time. This one can feel a little different if you haven't done it before. But it's a beautiful pose for opening and twisting through our thoracic spine. So that's the area of the spine where our ribs are, this caged area that protects our lungs and our heart. And because of those strong ribs, it's not as easy to flex through that area of the spine. So getting a little twist, getting a little movement in that area can feel really nice if we've gathered tension in the upper back at all, or simply just a little time to find some space. Beautiful work. So once again, we're going to come out the way we came in. So we're going to bring the right hand to the earth. We'll gently unravel, and just to finish, we'll float that left hand back up to the sky. So getting that little rotation the other way as well. And then from here, the left hand will return to the earth. Beautiful. So that was the twisted puppy dog. We're going to come into our straight puppy dog now. So keeping the hips directly above the knees, we're going to slide the hands forward. And we're just going to either rest the forehead or the heart and chin upon the earth. Heart and chin is a lot stronger on the shoulders, so feel free just to listen to what feels best in the arms and the shoulders. You can have the arms straight, or you can have the elbows soft, depending on what feels most comfortable for you. Beautiful. So again, this idea of connecting to the earth, we're opening our heart, our gaze towards the earth. And a nice place just to open through the heart space. Beautiful. So if you've just joined us, we are coming into our puppy dog pose. So if you're just catching up, we're coming into this lovely kind of door wedge shape. So we've got our hips above our knees, we're sliding the hands forward, and we're either resting the forehead or heart and chin upon the earth. Be soft in the elbows if you need to. If you just joined us and you need a little time to warm up, feel free to have a little movement and then just join us in the puppy dog pose in a moment. I'm just going to hang out in puppy dog so you can see what's what. And then we're going to take just a few more breaths wherever we are. And then with just a little softness in the shoulders, we're going to bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. So we're back to all fours for a moment. And then from here, we're just going to journey to an easy seat. So we're just going to bring the bum to the earth. We're going to cross the legs if that's comfortable. You can sit on cushions or blankets if you prefer. And we're going to think about just lifting up through our center. So imagine somebody you love just pulling you by a thread through the top of the head. So we're consciously lifting through the spine. Beautiful. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. So you might want to close the eyes if you want to. We could just let the gaze be soft. And you can rest the hands wherever you like. So it might be knees, it might be lap. Sukhasana, our sweet seat, is another lovely one for the idea of connection to the earth, because our sit bones, our legs are connected to the ground, so that's the strong foundation beneath us. And then from that grounding, we can just take that gentle rise through our center. And then from this lovely root, this lovely grounding upon the earth, we're going to take the rise a little higher by floating the arms all the way up to the sky. So as if you're trying to reach to the ceiling, and you can have the fingertips up tall, you can bring the palms together if you like, whatever feels nice for you is all good. So we're rising tall. And then I'll mirror you here as we drop the left hand to the earth, and we're just going to take a side stretch as far as is comfortable. So if you have any delicateness in low back, then keep that hand close to the body, just take it really easeful. If you feel like you want to take it a little further, you can slide the hand away, get a nice side stretch through the side body. Just keeping the sit bones rooted in the earth. If you find yourself tilting to one side, you've gone a little too far. We want both those sit bones to be rooted in the earth. Lovely. From here, we'll rise up tall once more, root to rise. And then we'll take it over to the other side. No rush, no hurry. Just taking it in our own time. And then from here, as we rise up tall once more, keeping that length, that lift through the body, we're going to hinge from the hips. We're going to bring the hands and the head to the earth. So we're just going to melt the upper body over the cross legs. Take a little time to get comfortable here if you need to. So if you need any padding underneath the feet for softness, feel free to bring in any support. And then from our lovely forward fold, we'll gently rise through head and heart. So we're going to bring ourselves back to upright. We're going to do a second forward fold here. So we're going to bring the legs out just straight in front of us. So we're creating kind of like a capital L shape with the body. That's what I'm going for. So we're like an L shape. And then we're hinging from our hips, and we're just going to walk the hands forward. So we're melting over straight legs now. And once again, we can let the head hang heavy. And you can bring as much softness in the knees as you like. If you want to bring in a cushion underneath the knees to support you here, you can bring in your cushions or blankets. So bring that softness in. Don't worry about taking a little time to find what feels best. And then once again, it's that letting go of the upper body. So we're just letting the body relax and melt over the legs. This pose is called Paschimottanasana, which, among other things in Sanskrit, means the pose of the west, as in the place that the sun sets. So when we're thinking about coming towards the earth, coming towards the ground, you can also think about that direction of the west and its correspondence of the earth and grounding. And this idea of coming to ground for safety, for calming, for restfulness. Finding those connections that help us find those elements within earth and grounding. We'll take just a few more easeful breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll gently rise once more through head and heart. Lovely. What we're going to do from here is we're going to draw the knees in, and we're going to come into a little pose we call the balancing egg. So we're setting our sit bones into the earth, we're drawing the knees in, and we're just floating our feet off the ground. So it's a balance, but hopefully it feels like quite a restful balance. It's not too stressful, not too elaborate. So again, this idea of the sit bones really settling into the earth, and it's that grounding in the earth from which we can rise tall through the spine that helps us keep that little balance with our little balancing egg. Cosmic egg, this pose is also called, which is a delightfully space-age name. And then from our beautiful egg, just checking that there's enough space behind you, so just be aware if you're going to bump into anything. What we're going to do, keeping the knees tucked in, we're going to roll backwards upon the earth, keeping the knees tucked in, and we can just take a little rock and roll side to side, or a little circle with the knees if we like. So just enjoying that settling of the spine, the hips, the shoulders into the earth with any little intuitive movement that feels nice. Let's place one hand on each knee and we'll just take a few circles. So we'll pick a direction and we'll just wind the knees in a circle in one direction. And then we'll change direction. So we'll spiral, we'll circle the knees in the other direction. Lovely. So when you're ready, we'll just draw the knees back in towards the heart for a moment. And now what we're going to do is come into happy baby. So with one hand on each knee, we'll draw the knees wide towards the armpits and shine the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. And you can take hold of the outside edges of the feet or the toes if you prefer. If that feels a little too much, a little too far, you are always welcome to take hold of your ankles or even the back of your thighs instead. So there are options. And from here, you can hang out in stillness if you like, or you can have a little sway side to side if that feels nice. Again, no right or wrong. We can just find what feels comfortable for us today as we just allow the spine to settle into the earth, finding that space in the hips. As we hang out here for a few easeful, restful breaths. Beautiful. So from here, what we'll do is we'll just draw the knees back in, and we're just going to release the soles of the feet to the floor with the knees soft. So knees are pointing up towards the sky, soles of the feet are on the ground. Lovely. From here, we're going to take the arms out wide, so like a T shape or a cactus, so the arms just restful upon the earth. And what we'll do is we'll just let the knees fall to the right, and the gaze is going to go to the left. So we're coming into a supine twist. We'll take some lovely breaths here. If you want cushions or blankets to support your knees, feel free to bring in that support. A lovely passive pose, and a nice pose of release as well. If we were to imagine that if we were wringing out a piece of cloth, we might be wringing out water or soap suds from that cloth, and as we gently spiral twist through the spine, we might be wringing out and releasing little tensions, little tightnesses, little places we've been holding on to. We just release them into the earth and let the ground absorb anything we'd like to release through the spiral. And then from here, we're just going to journey to the other side. So the knees will go over to the left and the gaze will go to the right, or whatever's the opposite side for you. So we're just going to take that spiral twist over the opposite side, excuse me. Beautiful. So from here, as you bring our knees and gaze back up to the sky, we're going to come into a nice long line. So let's extend through the legs, we'll extend through the arms as if we were trying to reach both sides of the room at the same time. So just a nice long line with any little wiggles or wobbles you want to bring in, feel free to bring them in. And then with hips and shoulders still restful in the earth, we're going to come into our little crescent moon. So we're just going to slide our hands to the top right corner of the mat and our feet to the bottom right corner of the mat. So we're just creating a very easeful crescent moon shape. Take it just as far as you like. You might feel it a little through the side body, a little through the shoulder. And then we're just going to journey that crescent moon shape over to the other side. So we're just going to slide the hands over to the left side and feet over to the left side. Beautiful. So let's just come back to a long line and just have a final stretch out through the body in any way we like. So you can spread out like a starfish, you can have a wiggle of fingers and toes, you can just have a long, luxurious stretch, whatever feels good. Just give yourself a moment to have a little space, a little stretch. And then when you're ready, what we'll do is we'll bring our arms back alongside the body, and we're going to take a moment to get ready for our Shavasana, our meditation and relaxation time. So if you would like to wrap yourself in a blanket or bring cushions underneath your head or legs, feel free to bring cushions in. If you'd like to take a moment to have a sip of water or a drink, feel free to give yourself a moment to do that. We'll be restful in our place for about 10 minutes, so bear that in mind. If you think you might get chilly or that there's somewhere more comfortable, you can either lay down or be seated. Feel free to give yourself a moment to find that place. If there's a little movement or a twist or a pose that you'd like to do before you settle, feel free to do that too. So no rush, no hurry. We'll come to the earth in a way that feels comfortable, with as much support and layers as we wish. And you might want to close the eyes, or you can let the gaze be soft. And here, as we began our practice, we'll end as well with this idea of connecting to the earth. As we allow our bodies to settle and be supported by the ground beneath us. As we allow body, breath and mind to find a little calm, find a little settling. Peaceful breaths, unhurried. One of the most ancient forms of magic is known as sympathetic magic. It is simply about connecting to an idea or an energy of something we wish to nourish or foster within ourselves. So if we are seeking a spark of energy, we might connect to the element of fire. But here in this restful place, we seek to connect to the element of earth. And within our mind's eye, we can envisage what the element of earth may mean to us. Maybe we imagine deep roots running into the earth that rise into beautiful tall oak trees. Maybe we envisage the beautiful lush plants of a forest floor, beautiful green ferns and mosses and beautiful little primrose flowers or bluebells or snowdrops. Maybe we envisage the safety and warmth of the earth and the animals that find their home within dens in the ground. Maybe we envisage beautiful standing stones, of which we have many hundreds here in England. Great tall stones that have their roots buried deep in the earth so that they can stand strong for hundreds of years, creating great circles and shapes of mystery. So as we take just a few peaceful minutes in our meditation, feel free to allow your mind to conjure an image of Earth, whether that's a symbol of what Earth means to you, what can come from the Earth, plants and trees, what the Earth can provide in shelter. So just a precious moment to allow the mind to wander into the element of Earth, its stability, its grounding, its safety. I am safe. The earth supports me, nourishes me, nurtures me. I stand tall on my ancestors' shoulders. I have strength and courage to create a wonderful life and a better world. All is well. And so, my beautiful yogis, perhaps the next inhale is just a little longer, a little deeper than the last. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes and just take any little gentle movements that feel nice as we begin to bring our awareness back to our body and back to our mat. And with eyes closed for just a moment more if you can. Let's gently bend the knees and pop the soles of the feet on the floor. And we'll just roll to one side in our little yogi recovery pose. So just coming to one edge just to take a little rest upon the earth. And again, with eyes still closed if you can, let's just gently rise to an easy seat. It doesn't matter what way you're facing. You can bring the blankets with you if you like. We're just going to hold on to that peacefulness, to that calm we cultivate in our meditation. We're just going to hold on a little longer in this just final minute before we head out into the rest of our evening. This little moment, this little liminal space between the end of our practice and the rest of our day or evening. It's a lovely chance just to send a little love and gratitude to our bodies that have allowed us to move and take those gorgeous deep breaths for our practice. And then to finish our practice, let's take a nice deep inhale. We're going to sweep the hands all the way up to the sky. We're going to bring the palms together. We're going to exhale the hands to heart center in prayer. From here, we can gently open the eyes. And to ourselves and each other, we say namaste. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.